The 12th Level Intellects podcast is hosted by the Watchtower Database. Visit watchtowerdatabase.com for more podcast episodes, videos, comics, artwork, and pretty much anything DC animated universe you can think of.
Only a 12th level intellect has the slightest hope of surviving what you are about to experience.
I never know how to start these things. We've only been doing 40 of them at this point.
Consecutively, like at the same time.
Is this 40? Is this 40?
Probably
or is this
not.
39? Let me find out. 12th
Hey,
level
you
intellects.
might be at
Oh,
40.
this is 40. This is
podcast
40.
Oh, the
ain't
big
nothing but a
40.
number.
Happy
This is 40.
anniversary.
Happy
Wouldn't
anniversary.
26
This is
be the
40,
anniversary?
the movie.
Yeah, that was the
40
year anniversary.
And
The
then
40 is a
50
big number.
40 is a
52
big
the
number.
next one.
40's 52.
40
We'd
is
have
bigger
40
than smaller than 40.
Podcast
numbers.
number 40. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of podcasts.
Which means we've been doing this for 80 weeks, or kind of, in a
Yeah.
way. which is disgusting. Welcome back to the 40th episode of 12th Level Intellects. I'm James, and that's Ted, and also Maddie's here again.
I
for
am
whatever
here.
fucking
Hello.
reason.
You told me
We're
to be
trying-
here.
No,
We're trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, he keeps popping
You just
in
said you wanted me
every
on
time.
all of these, Ted.
I don't put
No
those
one said
words in my
that.
mouth.
I'll let the record show none of us invited Maddie to the podcast.
This is
Either
13
time.
level intellects.
Last time we didn't invite him
know.
either. We just happened to be at his apartment. It was kind of like a oh, we felt
he-
sorry for him.
If he becomes a recurring member of the podcast, it's not because we invited him.
Nope.
Anyway, we're here to talk about Airbud, right?
Yes.
This will
course.
come out before our Susan Eisenberg interview, but so that
we should
joke
do a
won't make
series
any
on
sense.
Airbud.
But
It's a good idea.
yeah, we'll do an Airbud. Will it
I've been
canon?
thinking a lot of the shared continuity between Spy Kids and Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Too.
Uh-huh. You have been thinking a lot about
I've
it.
been thinking a lot about it.
Tell us your thoughts.
Just the fact that they're a shared universe.
Well, you've been thinking a lot, and that's the one
Yeah,
thing
that's
you've come up with.
So far.
Ted,
That's why you
that's
don't
not a
host
lot of
the Vanishing
thinking. That's like
Point.
one. That's one thought.
Something there. There's something there about the thumb people. About Floop. I haven't quite put my thumb on it yet, but
All
there.
right. So we're going to be talking about Shazam today, but and maybe probably the Fatal Five movie a little bit too. But first, we're going to
Maybe
talk
Airbud.
about news things. Idris Elba was cast sort of as Deadshot. It was
in
rumored,
the reboot.
yeah, but it was now he's not actually Deadshot,
Because
or
it's not a
maybe
reboot.
maybe he never was Deadshot. I think everyone just kind of assumed he was going to be because he was cast in the movie at all. Like, oh, he's like Will
Yeah.
Smith, you know.
But they were gonna reboot the movie and call
Yes.
it The Suicide Squad, which it could still be called that, but
Yes.
now it's not a reboot. It's probably a sequel.
Well,
Is that new? I don't know.
I'm sure
That's-
that like it's always been this nebulous state of reboot and sequel. You know, where they're just like, we don't want to deal with what happened there, but we're still working in this extended universe or whatever they're calling it nowadays.
Sure.
So
We know for sure also that Viola Davis is back as Amanda Waller.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome. I thought she was one of the stronger parts of the first movie. And then I believe Jay Courtney is back as Captain Boomerang and Margot Robbie as
Oh yeah,
Harley
I
Quinn.
saw the Captain Boomerang thing, which was probably my least favorite part of the news about this movie.
Yeah.
'cause-
Well,
I don't
he's
know.
like one of the recurring Suicide Squad members
Sure.
in like almost every iteration.
Yeah, so I guess
Well,
he has to be if he's gonna.
Who do you think Idris Elba is gonna be?
Bronze Tiger.
That's my guess too.
That's everybody's
that-
guess.
let's make him Bane.
Condiment King.
Tattooed Man's a possibility.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
He'd actually.
That
he would
sounds
have
right.
a lot of
He's
fun
gonna
doing
be
that.
the new Joker.
Yeah.
There's gonna be King Shark is supposed to be in this too,
That's
and
true.
kind of replacing Killer Croc as like their resident
Weird mutant
monster
animal. Yeah.
mutant animal there. Yeah. Every team's gotta have one.
I don't know who else he. I mean, like people are gonna assume that he'll be a black character, but Deadshot wasn't really a black character till Will Smith played him, so I don't really know
True.
if that's,
a good point.
if that's a thing to hedge your bets on. I don't know.
Just Bronze Tiger seems safe because he was such a main character of the squad
Sure.
too.
Yeah,
So
and in that the recent animated movie. Well, that's that.
That's cool. Joker. Yeah. Joker trailer. We got that.
That looks
pretty good.
So good. Like, so good. I didn't realize who Todd Phillips is. And so, like, after seeing the trailer, I looked him up because I was like, oh my God, this looks amazing. What else did he do? And I saw, like, the list includes Starsky and Hutch and Due Date.
And, just weird stuff. Yeah.
And I'm sitting here just thinking, like, this looks good, but is it going to end up somehow falling into that category rather than what the trailer looks like it's giving us, you know?
I mean, the trailer looks super serious, but to be fair, the first Suicide Squad teaser at that Comic-Con, I think it was 2015 they put that out, that made the Suicide Squad look amazing.
Yeah.
that whole thing, the first Jared Leto.
That was pre-Bohemian Rhapsody crazy weird colors.
Yeah, that was the one with like
started a joke.
Yeah, which this trailer reminded me
much
of
like
too, because it's another sort of smiley song.
Just a collage of dramatic looking clips to dramatic music.
What did it for me was it seemed really lighthearted until that shot where Joaquin Phoenix is looking in the mirror and he's grabbing his smile, and then he's like yanks it back right as the music gets dark. And that was like the first moment where I was like, oh, okay.
Well, people are talking about I saw some complaints that like, the Joker is like insane. He's not just a guy that puts clown makeup on. Like, did you see The Dark Knight? It's both. He can do both.
Yeah, I mean, I've had Jackie, if you're listening, off not Jackie from the Comic-Con, but Jackie off of Twitter and.
Too many.
I thought you were talking about Comic-Con, Jackie.
She was bringing up like, oh, isn't like one of the most interesting things about the Joker supposed to be that he doesn't have an origin story? But like, I understand where people are coming from who have that point of view. But at the same time, I feel like there are interesting stories to tell as his origin story, you know, and it's not like the one that's told has to be canon for every single version of the Joker. I think it comes back down to that one panel where he says he likes to have his origin as multiple choice.
Yeah.
So
joke.
Yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, so I mean, I'm really excited about that one. I'm gonna do because I've got a lot more news that I just laid out than you guys, so I'm gonna do a quick blitz and then
Real
pass
quick.
it.
Do you have any more thoughts on Joker? Because I had a few more.
I did want to mention, like, you brought up the thing about like people complaining that I don't want to see his origin story or whatever. Those are the same people that complain that they hate seeing Batman's origin story repeated in every movie and they should do something new with it. So like, make up your mind. I don't know. That was my comment.
If you don't want to see it, you don't have to watch it. Right. But like, it's going to be a really cool standalone movie, I think. We also see like a lot of hints of Gotham. We see Arkham Asylum in there, Arkham State Hospital.
There's a shot where he's like pulling a kid's mouth into a smile, and then that kid is cast as young Bruce Wayne.
Nice. Yeah, because his Thomas Wayne and Alfred were definitely like, I saw them both cast on the IMDb page.
Isn't one of the Baldwins playing Thomas Wayne?
It was Alec
for a while,
but it didn't pan out. I forget exactly who it is.
Okay, gotcha. Because I was thinking
one
about
of those Baldwins.
I was just like, I didn't see a Baldwin in the trailer.
No.
So I was
But yeah, it was Alex for a second. I hope we see Commissioner Gordon. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't see any confirmation about that, but
I can see there being similar to Gotham complaints in that, like, but he's not even Batman yet. How can you do the Joker? Blah blah blah. But I don't know. I don't care. I don't care anymore.
I would love to see like the very end of the movie with like the two of them having like their first showdown. That would be really cool.
What would I feel like what would be a really interesting way to spin this movie is like they're marketing it as a standalone thing.
Mm-hmm.
But what if they did spin it as like the Joker's intro in the DCEU and ended up retconning Jared Leto's Joker as like a Robin,
the second
brainwashed into Joker. Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be weird.
I
don't know about that.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know. I haven't watched.
It's also
Suicide
recasting
Squad, so.
Thomas Wayne and Bruce Wayne and all that stuff. Like, it's not the same little kid.
And are they not about to have to recast Bruce Wayne anyway?
Right. Yeah. Well, is this movie set in like 30 years ago, or is it just set now?
That's a good question, actually. But it's definitely not in the DCEU. Like,
right. But yeah, if Batman's a little kid, I just wonder if it's supposed to be like a while ago, or if it's now. I think
it's supposed to be set in the 80s. Yeah, 30 years ago.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Anyway, Mattie said he had like 200 things, so we should probably get to them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of casting news that came out. We've got a couple people from Marvel's Eternals. Kumail Nanjiani is in that. He looks
Angelina
so familiar,
Jolie.
but I can't point down like what he's been in. And then of course Angelina Jolie is in it as Circe.
Kamal was in The Big Sick. If you've seen that
The Big Sick.
I don't think I have. Like, I looked through his whole IMDb, and the thing that stuck out to me the most was he was the voice of Prismo off of Adventure Time. But like, I know his face, so it's weird that like nothing else really stuck out to me.
The Big Sick's a great movie. It's Judd Apatow, but that's all I'll say.
Okay, gotcha. Mark Hamill is voicing Chucky in the new Child's Play movie.
That's right.
Bill and Ted 3 is in the works, and Will Sadler is reprising the role of Death on that one. And then we also got Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton are returning for Terminator Dark Fate, which is serving as a direct sequel to Judgment Day and disregarding all the other Terminator films that have happened since then.
So it's basically Terminator 3,
it's kind of pulling what they just did with the Halloween movie that came out.
Is it being directed by James Cameron,
or
is it
I didn't even look at that. But like,
James Cameron is busy with 4 Avatar movies right now. Or he's supposed to be.
Director is Tim Miller, who I think is the Deadpool guy. Yeah, it's Deadpool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember this was going to happen with the Alien movies too, where they were the District 9 guy was going to make a Alien 3 essentially that was going to overwrite the other ones, but then
and that's now a comic book. They're adapting.
Right,
I think it's IDW is adapting that into a book right now.
Yeah, I think
the screenplay.
Something that I wanted to point out, just in regards to the fact that they're disregarding all the other movies, is it kind of brings me back to how we've been having all the canonicity debates with all of these people lately, and it's just like it's just proof that canon is such a fucking nebulous term, and that's why that's part of why like nobody ever really like pins it down as far as the creatives go.
It'll be like
it's
Terminator 3.
Change.
It'll be like Terminator 3 is canon to 1 and 2, but this new one is also canon to 1 and 2, but they're not canon to each other or whatever.
Well, so the way of looking at it from my point of view is 1 and 2 are canon to both of those instead of they're canon to 1 and 2.
Sure. Yeah.
You know. But
that's where the timeline splits. Or whatever. It's possible with all like the Terminator movies. I mean, I'll have to watch it to find out for sure. But the Terminator movies have always been, even this most recent one. I don't know if you saw it, Terminator Genesis.
I'll have to watch any of them to find out. I've never seen a Terminator.
Ted.
It's been a while since I've watched them.
Yeah.
I know I watched the first 2. I might have seen the third one.
Guess what else I haven't seen? Alien. I've never seen. Well, no, I saw the first one. I think I saw the first one.
Next time you come to town, we're having a marathon. I've got all the movies, I think.
They do so much time travel in the Terminator movies that even this most recent one basically overwrote Terminator 3 and whatever. So it's I could see that them. I mean, that one was purposely like they made a point of part of the plot is that we're overriding those movies by going back in time and changing what happened. But this one, I could see them just doing like, we don't care to address that at all. We're just going to do it, and you don't have to care.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I imagine
Chris Pratt. Do you think Chris Pratt's going to be in it because he married Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter?
I don't.
Or they're engaged. They're engaged.
I wasn't aware of that, so
that's the thing that's happening.
I don't know.
Chris Pratt is Arnold Schwarzenegger's son-in-law.
Interesting.
Now, or will be.
Who? Sorry.
It's his daddy.
No, but there are 6 different I guess character photos out there from the film, and I didn't see Chris Pratt in any of them, so I don't know.
No, I've only seen the Arnold one where he's old and bleeding and old.
Right.
Which was like also a plot
Remember
point
when he
in
was
the
governor
last
of
one.
California?
Yes, when we were in middle school.
Remember? Do you
That's
remember? I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yes. Thank you for throwing in the member berries into the podcast. What's the next thing that you have?
Dingleberries.
Well, Captain Marvel
better.
passed $1 billion, so you know
jeez.
Hey.
the
Joins the Billionaires
MRAs
Club.
or whatever have won.
Cheers.
The Jay and Silent Bob reboot film has wrapped filming, which
Ooh.
isn't a reboot. It's a sequel that has to do with reboot culture. So it's been confusing trying to read all the press on it. But
See, here's
like
the
that.
reason to keep Mattie, at least in the news section, is because we don't hear about these things otherwise. I'm
just
interested
talk
in all this
DC
stuff.
stuff.
We just end up like, oh God, it's 5 minutes before the podcast. What news do I have to grab? Okay, DC Comics news.
quickest
shit.
the easiest way to do that
That's
is just
not
go
what
to
we do.
go to
Yes, you
go
do.
to
That's what James does.
Literally, what I just did was go to our movies, our television, and just sort by top past week or two.
Nice.
Shuri's confirmed to be dusted in
okay.
Endgame. She got a
That's
character
surprising
poster.
for me.
Yeah.
I thought she was
see
going to
her
be the
go-
Black Panther when we
Yeah.
came back, but
She still
maybe
could.
maybe for like a future Young Avengers, because I don't want to. I know James is trying to avoid spoilers.
Well,
so
I was going to say I actually couldn't avoid seeing the most recent trailer because before Shazam, it just played.
I thought that as soon as I was in the theater. I was about to just text you and, oh no!
I missed it. I walked into Shazam halfway through the previews. I was like,
okay.
I bought a ticket to a movie that was like 5 minutes already playing, and I was like, yeah, I'll go.
Well,
there. It's cool.
something that I did want to point out about the Shuri thing is that I feel like that's another thing that's kind of iffy because Marvel is doing this thing right now where they are releasing
Making a lot of movies.
Well,
make
there's
a lot
that.
of money.
But they're also releasing like young reader companion novels that are apparently canon to the MCU. And
so all the
I was
50-year-olds are grabbing them too and overanalyzing them for
exactly.
spoilers.
And I was reading a
They're going to be future little Matties and Jameses.
But I was reading a forum thread.
We can only
and
hope.
apparently,
Little Watchtower Database. Sorry.
Oh
all right, I'll
God!
stop.
Don't do that.
I'll stop. Go.
Okay, so I was reading a forum thread, and apparently one of those books that happens after Infinity War but before Endgame has Doctor is it Selig or whatever from the Thor movies?
Yeah.
Is
No.
still
Selig is
Selig
wait,
Zeta Project.
Yes. You're talking about the guy that made
it's
him.
something.
He got
something
possessed
super
by
close.
Loki in the Avengers.
Yeah,
He was
hold
the
on.
guy Loki was puppeting around.
I'm
Thor,
looking him up. Thor
scientist
Doctor.
man. Selvig.
Selvig. Okay, so they're super
Close.
close. It all goes back to the Zeta Project. But so Selvig
Zeta Project is important.
So Selvig is
Very
still
important.
alive in those books, but in the trailer he's shown like as a missing person.
Oh, okay.
It like when they're going over all that footage or whatever in the Avengers headquarters. So it's kind of like some of the people who may be missing but you didn't see go missing might be alive. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Shuri is confirmed dead by a poster, but
Ted.
who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
They're not dead though,
Ted just
because
did air
obviously,
quotes for those who can't see who's everybody.
Spider-Man has a trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home.
Right, yeah.
So
that
you know
happens,
somehow
that happens 5 years before Civil War. Okay.
okay.
That happens.
Oh, you're the
50 years
timeline
from
guy.
now,
You're the
whenever
timeline guy.
now is. Yeah.
My last thing as far as movies go is we also got a Dora trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. But I did see the poster where it says "Explorer" is her middle name, and that really rubbed me the wrong way because the is her middle name.
Yeah, it's always been the. It's always canon. Dora canon.
Dora the Explorer. Explorer.
On,
what's her last name?
You can't just go back and change the continuity. Yeah.
Dora Explorer. What's her last name?
I'm so back and
Dora
forth.
the Explorer full name. Dora Marquez is her name, apparently. So it's Dora Explorer Marquez.
Interesting.
Where did the "the" go?
There was never a "the" to begin with.
Swiper took the "the."
Maybe Dora is actually short for Dorothy. So it's Dora the Explorer.
I'm so back and forth.
Does Boots have a middle name?
No, he just has Boots.
Is he related to Gleek?
No.
Gleek from
Boots
the
is
Wonder
just Boots.
Twins? But
Boots doesn't have boots in this trailer.
Okay. This is why I'm not on every one of these.
Correct.
Because we just interrupt each other the entire time.
We're on topic.
But I'm so back and forth over like how I feel about this movie, because from what I've read, like Benicio del Toro is involved and Danny Trejo's involved. And then Luis Pena is in the trailer, and I love him despite the fact he's a weird Scientologist guy. But then just watching the trailer, like it looks like something that like would have been a Nickelodeon channel movie, like not on the
like
big
the series
screen.
of unfortunate events movie with Jim Carrey.
Now that you mention it, it kind of feels like that. Like there's one scene where like her backpack gets caught in the bus. And just the way that they do it,
she's
and,
like
and shoot
floating.
it looks so bad.
That's a backpack song.
Yeah,
but everything else in the trailer looks fine. But like I don't know, maybe I'll see it, maybe I won't.
This movie definitely has a bigger budget than some of those Nickelodeon like direct to TV or specials or whatever. Like Drake and Josh accidentally lose their sister in New York City or whatever.
Dude,
the hell
Really Big Fish is one of the not Really Big Fish. Really Big Shrimp is one of the biggest.
Real Big Fish, the
best movies. Real Big Fish, the Really Big Shrimp story.
Speaking of Real Big Fish, this is off topic, but I got a U-Haul to haul some panels for my movie on my last shoot, and the guy at the U-Haul place used to be the marketing representative for Real Big Fish, and he played saxophone in high school band.
You know that
it's a weird thing.
You know the Big Fish movie?
No.
The Big Fish.
Yes, the Tim Burton movie. Yes.
Yeah, that little town that they go to. That was like so close to where I grew up.
You know what?
I got to go see
the Big
Shark
Fish movie, Jaws. It's got Big Shark in it.
That's cool.
Did you guys have any more news? Because if not, I have some more.
I don't.
Okay,
Go right ahead.
I've got a little bit more.
This is the longest news segment we've ever had.
Umbrella Academy.
Episode 40.
Umbrella Academy got renewed for season 2.
Season 2. Yes. Season 1 was awesome.
I haven't seen season 1.
I haven't watched it yet because I'm watching Doom Patrol and I don't want to mix streams. But once Doom Patrol's over, I'm hopping to it.
I did mix streams and it is confusing. I will admit that. They're so similar. Watch X-Men while you're at it too and just fuck yourself all up.
Netflix is doing a live-action Cowboy Bebop, and the cast was announced.
I saw that.
We've got John Cho, who plays Harold in Harold and Kumar. We've got Mustafa Shakir, who played Bushmaster in Luke Cage.
Yeah, he played Harold in Star Trek also.
That too.
He was Sulu, but yeah.
And then Danielle Pineda and Alex Hassel, who I'm not aware of who they are.
The first one sounds familiar.
I think she was in Jurassic World, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know who she is.
Not Brie Larson. Wait, not Brie Larson. Sorry, not Bryce Dallas Howard.
Correct. You're right. You're correct.
She was in the Arrested Development season 5. The rest of that came out recently.
Okay.
Oh, that was so much fun.
It was fun. It's probably over. Maybe we'll talk about that later.
And then last couple bits of news. We got an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6 sneak peek trailer from WonderCon. That's premiering on May 10th. We've got Swamp Thing is confirmed to start May 31st.
Which shot in North Carolina.
Young Justice.
That's pretty awesome.
Young Justice is coming back July 2nd. Stargirl got pushed to 2020 so that Titans Season 2 can come out this fall.
Oh.
And we also got to look at her costume, which
it was really cool looking.
Yeah, I really like it.
It looks great.
And then
yeah, I'm so excited for that show.
The biggest, most important news is Justice League vs. the Fatal Five comes out April 16th on DC Universe and on physical media. And Bruce Timm said, if it sells well, we might get more of them in the DCAU continuity. So go buy it, go stream it, put all of your money into it. There is a version that has a Starboy action figure. There's a
Ted
Steelbook.
is doing some big nods.
There's a regular. Just buy all 3 of them. Make sure this movie makes money, because we're running out of stuff to talk about, and we
we're not.
We need Bruce Timm to give us content. We're not running out of stuff to talk about, but it will always be nice to have more.
Helpful, yeah. It's one of the most positive and the most stressful things in my life when another DCU movie comes out. Batman and Harley Quinn. I had to make so many videos. I'm making so many videos right now.
That's been like the scariest thing about making our videos is like, now we're in an age where something can come out and wreck it, and it's like we can say in our videos like, oh, Bruce Timm was wrong, but Bruce Timm's got the fucking budget, and he can be like, no,
Bruce Timm has
you guys are wrong.
Yeah, Bruce Timm has the floor at all times when it comes to this sort of thing. He's okay. I'm not going to talk about it too much because we'll go into will it canon soon. So, but speaking of that movie, should we talk about it a wee bit?
I just noticed my cord is making those weird things again.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know for how long, but I'm gonna switch it real quick.
Well, while you're switching, I'm gonna grab a drink. Hold on.
I hope you hear a bunch of really loud pops when you're editing.
Thank you, and when you're listening. Anyway,
just replace every pop with someone saying Zeta Project.
I should replace every XLR cable that I have
with a new XLR cable. Is there you can see your voice going up and down on the thing?
Wait, but it's still making like a weird flashy.
Why?
What are you doing, Ted? Ted, what are you doing?
Put it in the other hole. When you're done with your XLR cables, do you just tie them in really tight knots and then smash them against the wall over and over again? Or what's going on?
Yeah, and then I bury them in the ground outside.
Honestly, it's probably my fault because I always have the technical problems, and now here I am, and the technical problems are happening.
I'm gonna keep recording because
Ted has so
this
many
is all
cords.
gold.
It is gold. I have a joke to start the Shazam review off with. And I'm not going to tell it to you guys because I want you guys to laugh organically at it. I won't let go at any price. I need you now like I teared you then.
I'm probably singing about 1 second too late. It's whether or not I choose to keep any of this stuff where Ted is trying to troubleshoot his recorder. That's my explanation in the case that I do keep part of this. So,
okay, it's gonna be good enough.
3, 2, 1.
Clap.
Hey, cool. We're back after our 15-minute break of Ted. Hey, you can stop
finagling with XLR cables.
Ted was trying to figure out what was wrong with his microphone.
Donate to our Patreon so I can buy new cords.
Yeah, he didn't figure it out, so we went with a different microphone. So now he sounds different, and we're going to talk about Shazam. Here we go.
It'll be okay.
Well, so first people probably want us to talk about Fatal 5. But I did my review. We're doing like 6 other videos on it. We'll talk plenty about it. We're talking about Shazam today, so get out.
We could do a quick little Fatal. We should definitely do a quick Fatal 5 chat.
I already told him to get out. They already left.
Open the door back up and let them in.
Get Out came out 2 years ago. The new movie's Us by Jordan Peele.
Ted's got them jokes.
Yeah. That's why you need my microphone on.
Yep.
It is on. I can confirm.
So what I don't know. Fatal 5 was a good movie. So what do we think about Shazam?
Yeah, 1-word review of Fatal 5. Good.
Okay.
Wait, rate it 1 to 5. 5 being awesome. 5.
5. Yeah.
Fatal 5.
Fatal 5.
5 being fatal. All right.
Okay.
I don't know what else we need to say about it because we're going to say everything about it.
We really are. We're going over this thing with
it's good.
A
Watch it.
Comb.
Okay.
Yeah, I already told them to go buy it 3 times.
Same with Shazam. Shazam was good. Go watch it.
So going into Shazam,
That's it.
Going into Shazam, I think the first thing we need to discuss about this movie is the elephant in the room. It's really good at connecting to the DCEU. It's got mentions of Superman. It's got mentions of Batman. It's got mentions of Aquaman. But they never bring up Wonder Woman or Suicide Squad. So is this film even canon?
Is that the joke?
No, they bring up Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's definitely in the credits.
Joke,
Shazam takes Wonder Woman on a
she
date.
is. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. She kissed him on cheek.
Yeah, he got a little kiss from Wonder Woman.
Was that in with all the drawings?
Yeah.
Or whatever?
Yeah.
That's not canon.
You also
That's
see there's a Wonder Woman action figure at some point. I saw it.
Is there? I missed
true,
that.
yeah.
Well,
Either way.
she's there.
Either way, is this movie even canon? Well, it doesn't mention Suicide Squad, so is this movie even canon?
It has the same newspaper as the Suicide Squad had that Superman. Well,
Damn
no.
it, Ted! You're ruining my...
Actually, I think I'm wrong.
movie
Suicide Squad had
needs to
Superman
mention-
dead. This movie had Superman lives with the Justice League thing.
Oh,
So.
okay.
Whoops.
I kind of wish they hadn't. I mean, I liked that there was like the Batarang and the Superman bullet and stuff like that. That's like, hey, these guys are around. But it's just unfortunate because they're probably recasting both of them. So there's just gonna be this like universe built off of those two characters that then doesn't have those two characters anymore, or it has like completely new versions you're just expected to like, be okay with, I guess.
Yeah, the connective tissue of this world, like I haven't watched the other movies since Batman vs Superman, so I don't know if this is a thing that like they have been doing with like being like, hey, remember we're connected. But like in Shazam, I feel like it did serve a purpose, but at the same time it kind of takes you out of it every now and then because you just feel like you are being fed like advertising to go buy merchandise for a movie that you're not even watching at the moment. You know,
Well, it all had a
Like
point.
a big Batman.
Superman's bullet had to pay off. You know, when like the first time Shazam gets hit
yeah.
by
I mean, like
bullet.
I was down for like Superman's bullet. I was down for the Batarang. I was down for
the
like,
Batarang had a
newspapers and
plot
stuff.
payoff
But, like,
later.
I feel like the Aquaman shirt was overdoing it. I feel like the action figures were overdoing it. You know, it's I feel like there's definitely like a line you can walk there without it feeling way too over the top.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, like it makes sense for Freddy's character to be wearing an Aquaman shirt.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm wrong and being nitpicky. But I liked
Who
the
does
movie.
that?
I liked the movie.
I thought Freddy
We're definitely going
and
to
the
talk
kids,
spoilers, so
yeah, we
just be
are.
prepared.
We're about to go into it. They were all like exactly like how the Jeff Johns Gary Frank reboot, like during the New 52. All the new foster kids that were there with Billy are like perfectly imagined. They were like cast incredibly well. So that was really cool.
Who was the guy that played? We're gonna go into spoilers. Who was the guy that played? I guess his name is Captain Marvel Jr.
Yeah,
because
Freddy.
he looked so familiar. Well, no. I'm talking like the adult version.
Yeah, the adult version
Like
of
that,
Freddy.
the actor looked so familiar, and I couldn't put my finger on it.
I don't know. I was going to say about him though that I think he did a really like perfect job of emulating
The kid.
little Freddy's personality.
They all did.
Versus Shazam. I think Zachary Levi was hit or miss on whether he acted like the Billy kid or not. Like in terms of how he might say something or react to something. I mean, like there was just a lot. It was back and forth of scenes where, oh yeah, that's exactly like what the Billy kid would do, and then there were some scenes where it's like it's Zachary Levi pretending to be a kid, LOL. But the Freddie Freeman
just
kid,
like a kid rather than
Yeah.
Billy specifically.
But the Freddie Freeman kid into an adult was like perfect. Like it was exactly how he was doing stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because he had such a short amount of time on screen. But Yeah.
That was super cool. Mark Strong as the villain, Dr. Savannah. Yeah. He did incredible. I'm glad he got a second chance to be in a DC movie.
After Sinestro.
Yeah. He was Sinestro and Green Lantern. Jeff Johns was the EP on both movies. So maybe he had something about bringing him back.
Starting from the start of everything, since we already skipped to the last
the end
20
of the
minutes.
Movie. Yeah.
That's true.
John Glover?
Yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah.
John
He's
Glover.
an asshole.
Yes.
He is an asshole.
Straight up.
Hey, the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the character, not the...
So we're talking about
and he was the Riddler.
Dad.
He was the Riddler in Batman the Animated Series.
He was Lionel Luthor in Smallville. He was I'm afraid you'll have to die in Batman and Robin.
Jason Widgery, the Floronic Man.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of DC
He made
stuff.
me really feel for
Dr. Savannah. Thad.
For Dr. Savannah, yeah.
Old
And like
Thad.
I wish they spent more time on that dynamic than just like the boardroom scene and then it's done.
Later on,
I was actually kind of surprised they started the movie with him and that he was such a we got to know him before we got to know Billy. Like that was the almost more important story or whatever.
It was a cool parallel because of how similar he is to Billy. You know, like he could have been chosen, but he went down the evil path instead. Yeah, took a different kind of
magic. Which is like original Dr. Savannah, like very original. He's just a kooky scientist, right? He doesn't have any connections to Shazam or anything.
This whole movie was almost a direct adaptation of the New 52 Shazam origin, like almost perfectly. So Savannah's the same way in that. But yeah, traditionally he's always been captivated by discovering how to harness magic. That's Dr. Savannah's thing. He wants to be able to wield magic. And usually he's teamed up with Mr. Mind, that little caterpillar guy who is from a different magical dimension as well. And big spoilers here, especially to the after credits scene. Yeah. But Mr. Mind is in it. And he was...
Well, yeah, I mean, he shows up in a jar at the start, or near the start.
You see him in a... Well, you see the jar broken. Later on, you see the jar's broken after the whole... After Savannah goes in there and takes the magic eye. So I'm excited that Mr. Mind is going to be a part of the sequel.
Him coming back at the end as... Yeah, he's got his little... text-to-speech kind of voice modulator thing around his neck and he's like, or around his body or whatever. He's like that. I was just sitting there snickering the whole time, like just at how ridiculous it is to have Mr. Mind in a movie. And it reminded me a lot of like, I don't know, Howard the Duck showing up at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy or like just little things like that in some of the Marvel movies of like, it's a character that you leave the theater with half the theater asking their family members, who is that? Tell me about this character, which is cool because most of the DC movies don't have that. Everybody knows the DC characters, but this is finally something that's like really Mr. Mind. But I liked it a lot.
What you might be forgetting is Shazam actually goes back. Like there's a lot of history with Shazam. Like he was one of the first superheroes in comics ever.
Sure.
Like he got sued by I guess it was All American Comics at the time. Would become DC, sued him over Superman copyright and whatnot. But then like in the 1970s he had his own movie and TV show and whatnot too. So there's a whole Shazam sort of culture in the 70s that we missed because we weren't born, and I haven't gone back and watched it. So
no,
but yeah. So like I think the public might they definitely know the word Shazam, and that's just from Andy Griffith because that's what's his name, I forget the Goober. No, it wasn't Goober. You know what I'm talking about?
Barney?
See, we probably shouldn't try to talk about 70s stuff that we don't know about.
No, do you know your Andy Griffith? That's 50s stuff. Do you know your Andy Griffith?
I know, but
I used to watch Andy Griffith all the time.
Yeah, it's his dumb mechanic friend that I'm trying to think of his name. No, this guy he says
Mark is the only one listening to this that's actually angry that we don't know what we're talking about.
Andy Griffith was 1960s, so
okay, well, whatever.
You're close.
Gomer Pyle?
Yeah, Gomer. That was
Gomer, that's it.
And he always said Shazam. That was his thing. He said all the time.
I didn't realize that this was what Full Metal Jacket Gomer Pyle. I mean, I know he was based on this character, or the name has come from this character, but I didn't know there was a Shazam connection as well.
Now you do.
Anyway,
moving on.
Yeah, no, my wife was saying how she was going to go see it to some of her coworkers, and they're like, "The Shaquille O'Neal Genie movie? What are you talking about?" So like, there's no. It's not really like a public. I think a publicly present character. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, there was only like 4 other people in the theater with us last night when we saw it, and there was a couple off to the side that would just laugh way too hard whenever Shazam the Wizard was on screen. And I kind of get that because he does sort of look like he's wearing a Halloween costume. Like he's not a very convincing old
even
man
Billy
wizard,
was like,
but
hey, I don't have any money for you. I don't have any change.
Yeah. Yeah. They at least play on that like they realize that he looks a little questionable.
I feel like as much as this movie did good in storytelling, I do feel like the costumes were a little iffy, as well as the CG felt really out of
on
place
the sins,
at times.
Especially. Yeah.
And the
I like the Seven Deadly Sins.
The green screens.
Well, yeah.
The green screens were so distractingly noticeable.
Yeah,
and
sometimes.
I don't know. Like I don't know why they do it that way if they're not going to make it just feel real.
I think the only one that stuck out to me was when Savannah pulls Shazam up into the sky before he knows how to fly and like drops him or whatever. But that was the only time that I really noticed.
I love the CGI shot of Billy leaping off the rooftop and yelling Shazam, like once he's confident there at the end.
Good.
Oh yeah, that one was fantastic. Yeah, my complaint with the CG was more or less the sins, but I keep saying I like this movie, and then I'm going to the things that I didn't like about it.
What did you like?
I think the sin CGI was the only parts. Like I could get what am I trying to say? Get on board with how they're cartoony. You know, they're weird, made up creatures and stuff. That's fine that they don't look completely photorealistic or whatever. It was the times when they are like grabbing or licking or whatever other people that was the part that looked really Roger Rabbit-y to me. Like they're not fully there or whatever.
That was my issue with them, was like they didn't feel they were actually inside of the world.
This is the same production company that took Superman's mustache away. You know, so you can only give them so much.
Well, we can't win them all. Yeah, nope. I think the worst CGI. Well, yeah. Again, we're focusing on this, but the worst CGI shot I think was when Billy he's having his head held underwater and he's trying to say Shazam. It's not working, and then he finally gets the chance to say it, and he gets hit by the lightning, and then Savannah is a CGI like rubber dummy falling through the air, and then he just mid-fall like turns around and starts flying away, and that one shot just looks so
You mean that slow-mo? Was it the slow-mo one?
Yeah.
I liked that. That was such a crazy shot. I kind of enjoyed it.
Speaking of that scene, it reminded me of when we were all over here watching the Shazam Superman.
Yeah, and he says
Billy
Shazam
goes
underwater.
Yeah.
Shazam.
The bubble pops up. Yeah.
And it works, and then there it didn't, and I was just like,
I was thinking like
I was thinking it would work.
Yeah.
Nope.
This movie isn't canon to Superman Shazam.
It's not.
Whatever.
Obviously
Return of Black
not.
Adam. Yeah.
But Black Adam
so
had a little
things.
cameo. I was hoping for that. He had like a short little thing. There was.
I must have missed that.
There was a part
It
where
was
they were
in
talking
the
about
retelling.
where like their ancient champion.
Okay. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
Now.
And Dwayne Johnson was an executive producer on the movie too, so they must have let him have his say in some way.
So what I did like about the movie,
it
does such a good job of not only just capturing what a kid would be like if he were to get superpowers, but also the entire story of the finding your home and finding your family dynamic was really touching. It was really compelling. I was not expecting him to, find his mom and then his mom be like, look, dude, like.
Yeah, I was expecting the whole movie that she was going to be dead or something. But and then when they say like, oh, yeah.
Like when they did split up at the carnival, I was just sitting there like, there's no way she intentionally didn't find him. That doesn't make sense. And then like as the movie went on, like I became to feel so much for Billy as a character that I was just like, he's gonna find his mom, he's gonna be happy, it's gonna work, it's gonna happen. I forgot like all of the doubt that I had from that initial scene, and I was like, they're gonna be a happy family, and then he finds her and she's just like, who?
Yeah. It's not a good time for me right now.
Fucking heart.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead. I do think those were like the best parts of the movie. There was a scene when, they're doing the montage of like secret fire durability tests and stuff like that, where they're just testing his superpowers, and then at the end they're sitting on the rocky steps, and that whole scene, the whole time I was thinking like, I remember a time in like middle school or whatever where you're thinking like, well, if I had superpowers, it'd be so cool if I could do this thing, and like that seems like a very relatable,
absolutely,
at least for me. I don't know.
You've ran a YouTube channel before. I love the Easter egg too, where Savannah and Shazam are fighting in that toy store. And then they run across the giant piano.
The big keyboard.
It's the big. It's the piano keyboard from the movie Big with Tom Hanks.
Yep.
Like that. The whole, just with the big thing going on, like the whole movie really felt like something that would have come out of that like late '90s going into the 2000s kind of feel to it, and you don't get stuff that feels like that anymore. It's just like it's. Superhero stories have gotten so big in scope because of what Marvel's doing that like for this to just feel like, despite the fact that it has supernatural stuff, just feels so grounded in the real world.
It wasn't Dr. Savannah was
fresh.
Dr. Savannah wasn't trying to destroy the galaxy. He was just he just wanted the superpowers.
He wanted the magic.
He might have later, but and the tone of this felt like a Raimi Spider-Man era superhero movie, but I also thought about how if it had been made during that time, we probably wouldn't have gotten a lot of the comic accurate classic Shazam-y things. They would have been like stripped down to, I don't know, a lot less goofy or something. Like they would have been, he would have been in like a just red battle suit or something, and
probably would have had the hood. Saw him in the hood.
It'd be like a Blade era,
right?
Movie
they would have had specific references to Clooney's Batman and Shaquille O'Neal's Steel.
I loved the Rock of Eternity and how that was a returning set piece throughout the movie. The scene where like all the other foster children are in there with him and they're running, like trying to escape Savannah, going through all the doors. Like, that's such, it's almost like foreshadowing for what's happening in the current Shazam comic books.
Right, I was thinking that. Like I was thinking about your graphic content the whole time.
It's very, like, if you want to have an idea of what the next movie might be, check that out. Because they're going, even at the end, like, Savannah and Mr. Mind are saying, like, oh, we're going to take over the 7 realms, and it's the 7 magical realms that they have there. And the Rock of Eternity kind of acts like the whole, sort of subway system they have there. There are different doors where the subway can go into different realms, and that's the same with like that room of doorways. It was going into different possible realms there. I was expecting to see Taki Tani, the giant talking tiger.
Yeah, they at least had a tiger reference.
They had a bunch of tiger references,
stuffed animal.
But then they had a talking like a bunch of alligators in suits for a second there.
That's true.
You know?
Maybe next time.
When we got that scene, my mind immediately went to Monsters Inc.
Mine went to Fear and mine too. Yeah, with all the doors.
And what made it extra funny to me is like in the end of Monsters Inc. when Randall goes through a door to that trailer park, and
Randy
just like, there's a
Savage.
gator in the house, and like they open the door and
Yeah.
it's just a bunch of gators, and I'm just like, oh,
Uh-huh.
like I don't think
That's
this is
the
intentional,
same-
but that's where my
that's
head
the s-
already was.
That's definitely a
That's the
Shazam
same
thing.
trailer.
The alligator people's
from
a
Bugs
Shazam
Life.
thing. But yeah, it's it reminded me of Fear and Loathing, honestly. Like when he's tripping out in the hotel and seeing all the like dinosaur people.
that makes a lot of sense. I haven't watched that movie in so long.
Yeah. The other part of that scene, when they're like running across the giant chasm of the Rock of Eternity, made me think of Lord of the Rings with Moria, and like the mines of Moria, how they're like running from the Balrog in a way, or like
There's a lot of
something like
Harry
that.
Potter stuff in this too, like the shades of Harry Potter, because
The lightning
obviously
bolt.
Shazam looked like a wizard, lightning bolt. But there's also like all of these smoke effects of the sins going back into Savannah's body reminded me a lot of like Death Eater kind of smoke effects.
Yeah.
And the cave with all the sins and Shazam's thrones and stuff looked kind of like a Chamber of Secrets sort of place. And then there was also like the intro to the movie. They didn't even do the new animated DC logo with all the superheroes.
It was
They
the
did, like,
logos in the
like
clouds. Yep.
yeah, like a Harry Potter logos in the clouds. The cameras flying through the logos is the exact same thing.
It's a Warner
almost,
Brothers.
except the opposite direction. But yeah.
I'm sure they.
That's what it was. It was like it felt very Warner Brothers early 2000s movie. So I liked it.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know.
There was so another thing that like annoyed me while the movie was going was the all hands on deck thing. For some reason, I was just like, this feels like it's doing too much. But then once they finally like brought that back around, in the end of it, I was just like, oh my god, this is beautiful. Like it's. I feel like the writers on this movie did such a good job at making like just bringing things around that like they kind of like shove it down your throat and you're just like, why are you doing this? And then finally it's just like, oh, that makes sense. This is
Like,
great. You guys are doing good.
Like the lunchroom scene where
you
he's
wanted to
like,
just make sure I didn't forget it.
where he's saying, like Freddy's telling all his friends, like, oh yeah, Shazam's gonna come have lunch with me. It's gonna be great. And then the bully's like, oh yeah, Superman's gonna bring you dessert. Yeah. And then the last scene of the movie, Superman brings him dessert. Spoilers.
He sure does.
There's
not Henry Cavill.
There's the strip club.
Yeah, that's good.
That's yeah.
You don't want glitter from those people.
Nope.
This movie was just so good. I hope that like in a sequel we can get the parents to feel a bit more rounded out.
Yeah.
I feel like I liked them, but they also at the same time just felt so adjacent to everything else that was going on. That
You
it was
mean
just
not canon?
They're
exactly.
They're in the current comics. It's like the exact same group of foster kids. It's pretty much the same parents, and they have their B story going on in the main book. Like while the kids are off exploring the Seven Realms, the parents are dealing with who is supposed to be Billy's dad. It looks just like Captain Marvel, Shazam, but it's Billy's dad. Yeah, so it's interesting. They're very much still a part of it.
Yeah, I know. When we were watching it, Jessica somehow knew about the like Flashpoint era Shazam, where all the kids are just the one man, like they're not separate characters. And that's what she was expecting to happen at the end, was that they would all just somehow like absorb into Billy or something, which would have been a weird thing to do on screen. Now we're all these people. But
I honestly, going into this, like I wasn't expecting them to like do the whole Shazam family in the first film, but like as soon as we got to the foster home and they mentioned Mary, I was just like, oh fuck, they're gonna do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it was a good movie, and we all liked it.
We did.
I think it had its moments of not so great, but it was overall pretty fun, and I look forward to seeing it.
He'll be a great part of the Justice League when he joins.
Ranking it on your same scale that you did the DCAU films.
1 to 5.
Put them all out
okay.
there. Which one does this fall in between.
I don't know what my top one is because there's nothing that sticks out as like oh my god, yes, this one, duh.
I think Wonder Woman is my top.
Yeah, I was gonna say it might be between Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
That's where I put it. Spot. Wonder Woman, Shazam, Aquaman. Those are my top 3.
See, I've only seen Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman before this, so
I think I'd put Man of Steel instead of Aquaman, or maybe instead of this one in my top 3, but it's still up there.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
it's been so long since I watched Man of Steel, so I don't want to compare.
That's a very different universe now than it was. It's not totally. It does not feel like the same thing anymore.
Right? Oh, for sure.
So it's hard to really compare.
I feel like watching this made me want to go back and try to revisit the universe up to this point, but at the same time, I'm just sitting here like, wait, I paid for Batman vs Superman the one time, and I got pissed about how much I didn't like.
You'll get pissed with Justice League too. That's not a great movie, but the Wonder Woman movie was awesome.
Maybe I'll wait until they release the Snyder Cut, and then I'll do the marathon.
Right, yeah,
watch it again.
Mask of the Phantasm, 1993, Fatal 5, 2019, feels like the same universe. Man of Steel, 2011 to now, 8 years. It does not feel like the same universe anymore. Like, what is the problem? What's going on?
Has it been 8 years?
Yeah.
They jumped the gun.
I think it's 2011.
They tried to build a universe so fast, and it didn't work
2013 out. Man of Steel.
2013.
So it's even less time than I thought. God. Well, anyway.
That's so bizarre.
So anyway.
This gives me hope for what they're going to do going forward. Between this and the fact that James Gunn is doing Suicide Squad, I feel like DC's starting to get their shit together. And even the Joker movie, even though that's not DCEU, like it's giving me hope.
I've got
DC
high hopes for Ava DuVernay's New Gods too.
What people want,
right?
I'm not gonna have high hopes for anything that like isn't past just being announced. You
had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make it.
Because you never know if it'll happen.
We're gonna move on to comic relief now.
I don't
really have anything.
I haven't been to the comic shop since you guys left for Comic-Con, so I haven't read anything in the past month almost. But Ted, have you read
I was going to give
Ted
Detective
has.
Comics number 1000
Ted has probably read every
out.
book to have come out in the past year.
Maybe. Probably not. I don't know if y'all can hear me.
Are you there,
My
Ted?
phone's glitching.
Yeah, I think Ted is 5 minutes behind us at this point. So.
Maybe it's working. So I was going to mention Detective Comics number 1000.
Yes.
Okay, am I good?
Yes, do it.
No? Okay.
Do it.
Tell us about it, Ted.
Okay. Detective Comics number 1000. Yeah. It was an amazing issue. It had so many creators involved with it. I'm trying so hard to talk about this. I don't know, y'all are lagging behind me, but I'm talking. I am talking right now.
You're very
I'm just
much
gonna keep talking about the book. So it had like all-star Batman creators involved. And now I'm stopped. Now I'm stopped talking because now you're talking. So I don't know.
No, I
don't know what we're doing right now. Go read the book. It's like I don't know how many pages, like 80 pages. It costs like $10. It's got so many Batman artists like Neil Adams, Jim Lee, Greg Capullo, Scott Snyder, Paul Dini. Bunch of basically anyone who's ever done Batman has worked on this book, and it's awesome. So many really cool short stories. Go read the book. Have a copy in your collection. You're gonna want that. So that's all I'll say because I don't know. I'm glitching right now. I'm done. So about 10 seconds. There's about 10-second lag. 10-second lag.
When I say the word pumpernickel again, clap. Pumpernickel. God, that was a long time.
It's a bit of a lag. I'm gonna rejoin the phone call for the question
please.
segment. Hopefully this stops the lag. Every technical difficulty we could have today.
We'll see.
When James says pumpernickel, clap.
Pumpernickel.
I clapped before he said it,
that's
though.
not too bad.
I said it when Mattie said it. Or clapped when Mattie said it.
What? Oh, you did? Oh, no. Well, then it's way worse than I thought.
Just keep going. It's fine.
We're gonna keep going, but for the audience at home, Ted is gonna be about
that
5
sounds
seconds
about right.
behind everything else.
That's honestly
That's
how my
the
life
internet
works.
Wait,
So
no,
anyway.
I think it works. He said that sounds about right.
I think it's fine now. Yeah,
I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows anymore?
Tell the audience 5 seconds behind.
Yeah,
it's just good to have the handicap.
Sure, I did do that already, but I'm gonna. I think we're moving on from this segment. I think we're going to the mail now, the untitled mail.
Wait, it's titled. It's titled now.
Yeah, is it?
What's it called?
Is it the questions? I don't know.
It's called
Everyone's Trash. Was that?
Everyone's
everybody's
trash.
I go through everybody's trash. Yeah, everybody's trash.
The question
Garbage collection is on Monday.
Everyone's
garbage day.
Aglets.
Okay, so anyway, most of these are from the Discord. You can find the link to the Discord in the description of wherever you're listening to this. This is from Gamora. Love the show, guys. Just have 2 quick questions for the mailbag. 1, how do you think what happened to Tim Drake impacted Bruce's interactions with Terry? We'll start with that. I think this
more like the trash bag.
Yeah, good one. So is it I think they're talking about how maybe like how Terry Bruce might not have been he might have been more reluctant to bring on Terry than he might not been. I can't even get through this. Bruce might have been more reluctant to bring in Terry because of what happened to Tim than if that didn't happen to Tim, I guess is the point of the question.
The same thing that happened to Tim is happening to Mattie.
Yeah, he's turning a little JJ.
And me too. And you. Everyone's doing
Okay.
Until a little M.
Okay.
God.
So.
Okay.
We broke the podcast.
Answer this stupid question. None of us. It's not a stupid question.
Why was that so funny?
I don't know.
Oh no.
More like the trash
Oh
bag.
no.
All right. Yeah, no one knows what to do now.
I don't know what happened there.
I
Oh my god.
We do think yes.
So the question.
Yes.
What was the question?
Is
JJ and Terry. Wait, not
Tim
JJ.
Drake.
It's Tim.
Do we
Tim
think
and
that what
Terry.
happened to Tim affected Bruce's decision to bring on Terry? Yes.
Of course. Of course.
I feel
He didn't want to bring Terry on.
Terry,
ever since Justice League vs. Fatal 5 came out, like Bruce's dynamic with younger heroes just keeps getting weirder and weirder to me because we kind of established before that like he didn't want teens in the league. At least that's what it seemed like with Static telling him, "Oh, you'll get in here one day," and the fact that Robin isn't part of the league and now Miss Martian is, and so
Supergirl couldn't until she was 19 or whatever. Yeah.
But we've had Stargirl. Maybe she's also about the same age.
So like, it's just weird like looking at the future part of the DCAU now with the perspective that more stuff that happened in the past is happening. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I guess that really doesn't change the question too much, but like I feel like it's kind of a tangent that's on the same line. I think there probably is reason to believe that would have affected how he had Terry in it, because like when you hear the Joker's back, like he's just like, Terry, pack up the fucking suit, get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that for sure.
You can't handle this.
It's interesting in Fatal 5 when Miss Martian turns into Tim for a second, because I mean, you're supposed to understand, I guess, that this is before the Return of the Joker flashback. But imagine if it was after it.
Yeah, see, that was...
and she just turns into him like, oh yeah, teenagers, huh? Think you fucked this one up. And
that's before any other indicator in that movie that hasn't happened yet. Like, Harley didn't show up yet. The Joker hasn't been mentioned yet. So when that happened, I was just like, oh my god, she just fucking went there.
Yeah, what a terrible person. Yeah. So anyway, second question is, if you could add one Marvel character to the DCAU, who would you pick and why? And then Echidna Power replied, Captain Marvel, so they can argue over the name. Yeah. One Marvel character to the DCAU. I don't know. Who fits in this world at all?
Spider-Man.
Sure, yeah, I guess that would work.
I'll bring Spider-Man.
Spider-Man would be great.
I feel like
Galactus.
Cloud Galactus.
Well, Galactus is already part of it. He's in the Source Wall.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But,
Legacies.
But I feel
check it out.
I feel like Spider-Man.
Issue number 0.
Spider-Man would be a good pick, because if we're adding Spider-Man to the DCAU, then obviously Spider-Man gets his own TV show. And the DCAU really, other than Static and Batman Beyond, it really focuses on the adult side of it. You know, like you get your Batman, your Superman, your Wonder Woman, all of them are all adults. Whereas Static and Terry are the only, kids that are active heroes. And so I feel like adding another one in that's like a mainstay would be a really fun thing to do. And if you bring in Spider-Man, then theoretically you also get the rest of his lore and everything. So you also get Spider-Man 2099, which would be a fun time travel.
Team up with Batman.
You could then have like a Spider-Man 2099 Batman Beyond crossover.
Well, and Spider-Man's like Rogues Gallery is probably the most DC Rogues Gallery of any Marvel character.
Well, for Batman Beyond, you'd have to have a Spider-Man 2042.
Well, you could still have 2099, and Terry would just be in his like 60s or something.
That or the fact that we constantly see people from the present day DCAU time travel to the future.
That's
like
true.
it'd be fun to see.
Well,
Terry
obviously
go on a time travel adventure.
you can't do Mr. Fantastic. You can't do Mr. Fantastic because there's already two stretchy guys. Or you don't need two stretchy guys.
It's very true. That's the most important law of the DCAU.
We could roll him out.
You do not need two stretchy guys.
Unless you're Zeta. Zeta gets to break every rule of stretchy guys.
This is from Byproduct for the podcast. What's a comic from any publisher that you just couldn't get through? I don't know. Most comics that I've read have been recommended by Ted, so they're all good.
I've got one actually. Maybe I didn't give it enough chance, but I couldn't get through the Avengers versus X-Men comic, the crossover that came out a couple years ago. I don't know. It was like Phoenix was the main villain, so it was really just like the X-Men trying to protect Jean Grey, while the Avengers are like, no, we should stop Phoenix, and I just couldn't.
My answer
couldn't do it.
Is gonna be the Justice League Adventure tie-in books. There's such a difference in quality between those and the Batman ones, and I feel like it has it has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of the characters used aren't as well established. It has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of it ended up getting retconned out because there's when you're juggling that many characters at once, it's just kind of like something's bound to happen that's gonna delete half of what you're doing, and it feels so bizarre coming to something that's supposed to be set in that world, that has the character designs of that world, that mentions stuff from that world, but like has other stuff that's just completely irreconcilable, and it's just like I don't know, like it's not even just like the continuity errors, but there's so much in like the tone of the characters that just feels different from the screen to the page. That it's
a lot of the art in those issues is really good. Min Escu does a really good job. Chris Jones really good job, but like there's some, I don't know, that's about where the positives stop for me. It's
John Delaney's okay.
Good.
John Delaney's a good boy.
It's alright.
He's our pal.
Good man.
All right. This is from Den Toon's comic. What DCAU original character or creation do you think is underused or underrepresented in all DC media? This means other cartoons, comics, movies, etc. For me, I think it's Baby Doll. That character is just so interesting to me that it shocks me she isn't used that much in other things. Baby Doll's a good one. Volcana isn't
Roxy
in anything.
Rocket.
I was super surprised when I found out that Baby Doll doesn't really get a lot of love in the mainstream comics. I didn't even realize she was DCAU original for a while, and then come to find out she is, and she only just recently got like her first comic book appearance, which is just bizarre to me because that's
White Knight, I think.
Yeah, because like that's
right.
just such a touching story. In at least the one in Batman the Animated Series, the TNBA appearance was kind of meh, but like
I'm so surprised you didn't say Farmer Brown.
is he DCAU original?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure he must be.
And Amy Lou.
Is. If he is,
and Amy Lou.
If he is, that's my answer. I'm sticking to it. I want Farmer Brown in
he's in
every
2 episodes.
From
he's
now
in 2
on.
Episodes.
From now on, just Farmer Brown all the time.
Only Farmer Brown. That's our YouTube channel.
I feel
Watchtower Farmer Base.
Zeta. Why has Zeta not gotten a comic book follow-up?
Yeah.
Why?
He needs one.
I don't know why it took me so long
show.
to like piece that together, but like it would make so much sense for them to just be like, okay, the show didn't get an ending. Let's tie it up in a comic. Here you go.
Maybe they figured if the show wasn't making enough money on TV, that a comic would definitely.
Well, I don't think.
I was gonna say they should make that, but like maybe we're they that should make that.
Yeah, but I don't think the show was canceled because of lack of money. I feel like it had a lot to do with the fact that it was around the same time as like 9/11 and everything like that, and you've got this show where government agents are the bad guys, and
they didn't want everyone to know the truth.
In a post 9/11 world, that close after it, that just doesn't seem like something you can really do. I mean, I'm saying that, and then like Cadmus happened, but Cadmus.
I mean, I myself like Superman and I'm a patriot, so. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. This is from Josh Tahu on Twitter. Hey, DCAU Watchtower, I don't know if I asked you guys this or not, but who is your favorite live-action Batman? I know many people pick Affleck, but I like Bale more personally. I liked the realism of the Nolan trilogy, even down to Batman's tech example, his belt, and how the pouches and capsules on his belt open and close and attach, detach, and how he can move them around. He can even move them around on his belt to make room for more or other gadgets. Also, his bat suits being armor, etc. I like that kind of attention to detail, and I'm sorry for the long tweet, by the way. So, no,
Bill's great. But
I think I like those. I like the. I like the Christian Bale Batman movies better than the Michael Keaton Batman movies, like as movies, but I like Michael Keaton better as the character, I think.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Yeah, I know you. I mean, maybe. Oh, this is all live action Batman. I liked Kevin Conroy in that episode Batman. Of The Daily Show.
I'm gonna go with Adam West as well.
Yeah,
he's probably the most classic. Yeah.
I feel like almost like. I like Ben Affleck, and I think he would have been a good Batman, but I feel like the thing with most live-action Batman is that they didn't know really what they wanted to do with the character.
It seems pretty obvious we're all just trying not to say George Clooney. Like, I know he's your favorite. I know he's your favorite too, James. He's everyone's favorite.
Val Kilmer's definitely my favorite.
I definitely have like the movie poster for what was that
Robin?
one? Yeah. I've got that
Batman
poster
Forever?
somewhere. The big old marquee poster. I found it at Goodwill back in high school for like $1.
Awesome.
And
I had that on my door in elementary school. Yeah, I don't have it anymore. I think an Adam West style Batman show would actually we're coming around to the time when that might do well again. It's
well, they did those animated movies,
two
with William Shatner as Two-Face.
I feel like Brave and the Bold kind of like played in that same area.
Sure.
Definitely.
I do feel like we definitely need like a more chilled out
campy
Batman.
Yeah
these days. Because like what's the last Batman we've got? I guess like Justice League Action.
He was pretty chill ish. Still Kevin Conroy.
But that wasn't a Batman show. That was a Justice League show. Like most of the Batman we're getting right now kill people apparently. Fucking wake up, Ted. Your heroes kill people.
I'm sorry for making you mad.
I'm just
wake
down
up,
the road
Ted.
on that one. Yeah. This is from Bob the Random Guy.
And after you lose your virginity to this question from Bob the Random Guy?
Hey. I believe Bob the Random Guy. That's our guy that posts the videos whenever I don't, right? Is that true?
Yes.
He remembers to
Bob.
post them when I forget.
I remember because his avatar is TK from Digimon.
Digimon.
Yeah, we've bonded over our love of the Digimon movie.
All right, He says, if you could take one DC non-comic property, example, Teen Titans, Green Lantern, the animated series,
Zeta.
Superman, Brainiac Attacks.
Zeta.
That's
Zeta.
not what the question is.
Zeta's the answer.
If you could take one DC non-comic property and magically make it fit in the DCAU proper, what would you pick and why? I guess
Zeta
Green
Project.
Lantern, because it would help explain. It's not Zeta. That's already.
No, because Bruce Timm didn't work on it, so now we have to question that.
Sub-Zero. I'd put Sub-Zero in the DCAU if I could.
Beware the Batman, because of all the awesome Gotham villains that weren't in the cartoon that could be in there. It had like ties to Mr. Terrific and Metamorpho and all these other greater DCAU
Katana.
stuff.
I really wanted to get into that show. I need to.
Deathstroke. It's like 26 episodes. It only lasts like one full kind of run.
Same.
Yeah, but they go into like some cool racial ghoul stuff and like Harvey Dent's transformation to Two-Face and it's pretty cool. I watched it. Deathstroke is in it. There's a really cool Deathstroke episode.
My answer is still Zeta.
Yeah.
I would put Batman Beyond in the DCAU as a real future because it's not.
Lobo, the web series.
Yeah. Where's my end of the episode? There we go. It's the end of the episode, everybody.
We made it.
Is it? We could go on forever.
Yeah, we could, but we won't.
We could go on forever. Do we want to tell them how Zeta Project ends?
Yeah, it's
the Zeta Project.
Yeah, that should be it. We just cut it at where I say, "Do we want to tell them how the Zeta Project ends?" Leave it on a cliffhanger.
What a cliffhanger!
Yeah, and then it cuts immediately to Brainiac 5 saying that. I hardly think you could compete with a 12th level intellect such as my own or whatever. Like, that's how the Zeta Project ends. He knows, but no one else does. Brainiac 5. I guess Brainiac 5 would have knowledge of how the Zeta Project ends because
he definitely knows.
They have like
archives.
They have the history cubes or whatever that tell them everything.
We need a Legion of Superhero shows that goes back and recaps Zeta Project for us.
We need a Zeta versus Fatal 5.
Yeah, man.
We need
everyone versus Fatal 5 in their own separate movie.
Batman and Zeta Quinn.
I'd like to see a Fantastic Four versus Fatal 5.
Versus Fatal 5. What is a like a DCAU series of movies that was all just blank show from the DCAU versus the Fatal 5, and it's actually just a long going story of the Fatal 5 told throughout each show's different timeline.
Batman Beyond versus Fatal 5.
Yeah,
here's the thing that somebody brought up. I don't think we see what happens to the Fatal 5 at the end of the movie. So they're out
Batman
there.
Mask of the Phantasm versus Fatal 5.
So Static Shock versus the Fatal 5 is coming next.
Batman Sub-Zero versus Fatal 5.
I like Static Shock versus the Fatal 5.
Yes.
He already took down Brainiac. I know the movie we need. Two stretchy guys versus the Fatal 5.
Face and two Mason versus the Fatal 5.
The Terrible Trio versus the Fantastic Four versus the Fatal 5.
Justice League versus the Fatal 5 versus the Fatal 5.
It's the movie case.
Batman v Superman versus Justice League versus Fatal 5. Dawn of Justice.
Okay. All right. So thank you for listening to whatever the hell this was today. There's a lot of stuff I either have to edit out or leave in, and you get to listen to all of it. But I have to listen to all of it, so you might. If I have to, you have to. The podcast is out every other Monday on iTunes and YouTube and WatchtowerDatabase.com. Share it with your friends so that more people listen to it, because it needs help. Needs your help.
If you don't, we'll shadow ban you.
Yeah, exactly. We're on social media. We're on social media at DCAU Watchtower. Don't say these things. You can also reach us at info@watchtowerdatabase.com. I would recommend, if you're going to actually email us, that you email us directly, because the contact form on our website has been down for some time, so we apologize if you've been using that to try to send in stuff to the podcast. It's not working. I don't know why. Mark's on
Don't forget, you can buy a loot crate from us.
Yeah, you sure can. I was getting to that. If you would calm the fuck down.
No.
First, I'm going to talk about how videos are out on the YouTube channel every Sunday, Thursday. No, Sunday, Wednesday? No. Yes. Sunday, Wednesday, Monday, Thursday. It changed, and then we also had the last 2 weeks of a video every day, almost.
Sunday, Wednesday, Monday, Thursday. Okay, yes. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yes. Upcoming videos, we got the Fatal 5 Will It Canon is coming up. Followed by Fatal 5 Everything Else. You can go to the patreon.com/DCAU Watchtower. If you get to the voting tier, you can vote for which Fatal 5 video you want to see next, in which order, and other videos that we're going to make. There's also all sorts of other cool rewards over there, so go check it out. We have a Loot Crate affiliate code that's you can go to lootcrate.com through the link in the description of this video. If you buy a Loot Crate through that link, we get a little teeny bit of coinage. And there's also a Loot 10 that you can use as a code to get 10% off of your Loot Crate. Maybe someday it'll be 12, but it's not now. There's also merch in the merch store at teespring.com/stores/DCAU
Put my face on
Watchtower.
Your upper torso.
You interrupted the URL, but you got it. It'll be in the description.
You can even buy a shirt with Maddie's face, cut the face out, and put it anywhere.
You could put my face on your face.
The possibilities are endless.
Buy that merch. Buy that merch.
Don't do this. Don't do this to me, please.
All I want for Christmas is that vanishing point shirt.
Tell someone. Ted has to have the log off pun.
Oh yeah, Ted's got to go on a date or something. Ted, get it. Go.
Sorry, I can't hear you. My cord is starting to act up.
Go on a data project.
You got it.
I think my cord is. Hold on, guys. I gotta reset everything real quick.
You gotta unplug the.
I'm just gonna unplug the whole thing here, and I don't know if I'll be back. So
okay. Well, we'll see everybody later.
Okay. Bye. I guess so.
This was a podcast.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Bye. I'm gonna stop recording.
Bye.
Me too. Bye.
No offense, but I really don't think you could follow the reasoning of a 12th level intellect such as my own.
Guess not.
The 12th Level Intellects podcast is hosted by the Watchtower Database. Visit watchtowerdatabase.com for more podcast episodes, videos, comics, artwork, and pretty much anything DC animated universe you can think of.